I'm so pleased that Braverman has gone. The worst sort of career politician prepared to throw petrol on an entire country in order to, design her own leadership bid. I read the statement of the football lads on Friday who were going up there on Saturday, creating all these straw man arguments to try and validate why they needed to be there. They went to pick an argument with the police and make the police's day difficult.
Do you hold her solely responsible, Suella Braverman, solely responsible for that, Victoria? Because
I don't hold her solely responsible because I think they're looking for any excuse to go up there. They said the vets have called us. There was no press release
No.
It's a straw man. And the football lads, the far right group, they have characterised pro-Palestinian marches as the far left. That's not the far left. They are the far right. The far right are the troublemakers. They don't like brown people, albeit they follow the politics of a certain brown person, and they don't like white police. And they were there using it all as an excuse to go up, have a good day, cause some trouble.
Had it not kicked off, and I say again, as I've said, vast majority of all the violence and arrests down to the far right, had it not kicked off, would she still be in post?
I fear she would, and I'm pleased she's gone. And what's despicable about her is that she will allow those people to crack on because she planned to use them and the people that they confuse and ill-inform as her voting base. The far right, they're confused as to why they're there. They're not correct. They don't understand. And she's happy to use them as her voting base.
Is this an attempt to try and repin the Conservatives back towards the centre? They've been drifting or charging right recently, and the polls have not responded. Is this a last throw of the dice? Because I think most would agree that Cameron was a very centrist Prime Minister.
Are you one? Are you a Conservative supporter?
Do you know, I'm that kind of voter that people want. I think I voted all three primary colours, as it were, in my time. I actually voted where I used to live. I voted for Conservatives because it was a choice between them and UKIP in my constituency, and I was damned if I would allow that to happen. But at the moment, my vote is there to be won. I'm not sure David Cameron's the person to win it, but is this Sunak's plan to try and drag them back to the centre where they can do battle more effectively?
Well, I think that's a really smart interpretation. So I'm going to finish by asking you, if it is, how do you think the nation would react? How do you think Conservative voters and others would react? That's a strange noise. You've got a horse in the background.
No, I haven't. Sorry. I think the centre of the party will be cautiously optimistic, but I do fear that with David Cameron comes the spectre of Brexit, and
I know.
I think that's where this might be a big mistake for Sunak.
Do you think the marches are hate marches?
I think there is a large proportion of those marches. I think we're sort of kidding ourselves, and especially it kind of sort of, I guess, it makes us as Jews feel like our feelings are not valid whenever I hear people saying it's very, very small numbers of people. When I see entire tube carriages, screaming for an intifada, and I imagine many of those people don't know what an intifada is.
Isn't that
when I see these people standing by and joining in, including
Gabriella,
the tube driver?
Yeah, isn't that what Suella Braverman was trying to make public, though, in what she said? Do you not think in that Times article?
Yeah, I think many of the things she said were fine. I think many of the things she said were not fine.
When did she cross the line? For me, she crossed the line with marchers. Hate marchers I found rather difficult.
I mean, for me, she crossed the line when she started talking about cultural Marxism to a Holocaust survivor who was clearly offended by her words. She crossed the line a long time ago.
Okay, I meant, sorry, in the Times article. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, okay.
No, I understand. I think calling them hate marches and going against sort of their right to protest is an issue. I think we should be looking at what's taking place in the marches and police them better and do a better job at understanding the amount of hate that is taking place on those marches.
I think she's very much a loose cannon with a loose mouth, Nick. I think the comments, what really upset me the most was homeless is an option.
Yeah.
Now, let me give
lifestyle
for
choice.
instance,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the lifestyle choice. Now, let me give you 2 instances here, Nick, right, which is completely wrong. The first one, let's say a woman's been repeatedly being raped by her husband. She chooses to leave the family home and she presents herself at the council as homeless because of what's going on. Is that her fault? No, it's not.
Of course it's
not. Or let's say if someone's been served with a Section 21 notice and the woman and her husband's got 2 children, and because the courts threw out because the landlord wants her back, is that the family's fault? No, it's not. You know, sometimes, Nick, if you've got nothing to say, sometimes you have to keep your mouth shut, Nick.
Yeah, the loudest vessels make the emptiest vessels make the loudest noise. Hey, can I ask you? You and I have been speaking together for years. I always enjoy your contributions. Can I ask you?
Thank you.
Very much your geography now, South Shields, the sort of what was the Red Wall or whatever. I'm not asking you how you would vote, but the ticket that would now be David Cameron and Rishi Sunak. Is that going to get them dancing in the streets of South Shields?
No.
Would you expand, or are you just satisfied to say no?
What could possibly go wrong? Do you know what I mean?